Hey, Sawadee-ka, and good afternoon to everybody who is watching from Thailand and to people who are watching in the US, where Jurgen is in California. Good evening to all of you. How are you all doing today? And how are you, Jurgen?
I'm great.
Well, I'm trying to be, proper here, even though you're my brother. So to everybody who's watching, this is my younger brother, Jurgen. And I'm just super happy to be here because we mainly just talk over the phone and we don't really do a lot of video chats. So this is like really, really special for me. Anything you want to share with your friends, Jurgen?
Welcome to Zoom. Everybody's done this before, but it's probably more awkward with their managers or something, or co-workers.
Yeah. Well, to all the people who are watching, I'm not going to be as formal, even though I still have the same setup. I have 4 questions for Jurgen, but we're going to go with the flow. And I'm going to obviously maybe not be too specific because, Jurgen and I grew up, we both have the similar background, but what is special and what I would like all of you to hear about Jurgen's story is pretty much after 20 years old. For me, I left the house after university, so I wasn't really around Jurgen very much. He's 6 years younger than me. And then after I left, I moved to Thailand when I was 25. So Jurgen and I have quite a distance between us physically and also with many, many life experiences. So I'm sure there are lots of things that I can learn from Jurgen as well, because we're both adults and we're both living different lives. But before we start, Jurgen, I would like you to introduce yourself, because it's always best for you to introduce yourself than I introduce you. So give us a short introduction.
Oh, short introduction. Hi, I'm Jurgen. My real name is Kit. A lot of people know me by that now because it's just easier when I moved out here to California. Short introduction. Things I do. Recently got into weightlifting, which was pretty cool. I'm about 6 months in now.
Is that why you're so buff?
Nice.
You're really big.
Yeah. It's been keeping me busy. I have a routine. Other than that, always been a huge fan of cars. So I love my car and I love modifying it. That's one of the things I love doing. It. Love driving around and cruising. And then recently I picked up some online gaming. So I found a lot of coworkers who do online gaming, and I play usually at night. That's like my fun time. And then anything else in between, I actually recently got into like cryptocurrency and stocks. That's also been kind of keeping me a little bit busy too. Feels sort of like a miniature part-time job. So but yeah, that's a short little snapshot of me, I guess.
That's awesome, because I don't even know about the gaming part of you. I know you're into cryptocurrency. See, I'm just like, because we don't talk so much. Yeah. And I have to learn from you about these, cryptocurrency and stuff like that too, because even Colin, my son, was asking me about, I want to get rich from, like buying stocks and Bitcoin. Yeah. And I was like, Colin, why don't you research and you can teach me, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I used to play games when I was like a little kid, but I literally stopped from like, I think probably like somewhere in like high school, like senior year to like all throughout college. I just didn't play. But I just recently picked it up, I think 2 years ago is because of COVID, because I was home a lot. And I think my best friend and roommate at the time, Alex, we actually started like playing some online games, and that's what kind of got me hooked. So
awesome. Hey, you know what? If that's something that makes you feel good and happy and you can, still have your normal life, then do whatever it is that you enjoy, right? I'm not a big gaming person. Actually, I don't know anything about games, but so I'm not going to go into that. But all right, let's start, because I like to keep the podcast itself within about half an hour. And this is when I'm going to be asking Jurgen some questions, just like all my other guests. And I just try to keep this organic. So sometimes there are things that, for example, that you would answer that is outside of my next question. Then I'm just going to go and answer and ask you a question that is, not fixed. based on what I have already sent you. But you live in California. So this is your journey. Obviously, we're both from Hong Kong. We moved to US when you were 4, I was 10. And then we just stayed in Toledo pretty much the whole time. When did you move to California?
About 6 years ago, I believe.
Already
Approximately.
6 years?
Approximately 6 years, yeah.
Jeez.
5, 6 years ago. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I remember, I remember like you were like so annoyed with grandma, like waking you up every night.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough. That's tough when you live with family members. I mean, we all know when we like live with our parents like every single day, and we have to see them every day.
Yeah.
It gets overwhelming. It's just too much sometimes. So I was just ready to kind of like maybe that's how it pushes you to like actually leave the home and actually be independent on your own.
Yep, we love you, grandma. I know we're talking about you. We love you so much. You pushed Jurgen to be who he is today.
Yeah.
So gosh, it's 6 years already in California. So tell me just a little bit your story in California. That's like the main thing that I don't know about you, your life in California. And I've never even visited you out there because every time I see you, we would go back to Wasian. The last time I saw you was at grandma's funeral in February of 2019. So tell me what exactly did you do in California, and then like also your journey in how you get into Tesla. Like, I'm really interested in that.
Yeah. So I used to work at Schindler Elevator in Toledo. It was probably one of the world's largest escalator company. It was like the second largest elevator companies in the world. I finally made a decision with, at the time, a girlfriend to move somewhere. And we kind of figured out maybe California was a really cool place to move, because living in Toledo for like our whole lives, it just gets boring after a while. And then if you want a little bit more, you can, try to travel and go somewhere else. So I remember putting my 2 weeks in, and then I had about maybe like, I think it was only about $6,000 saved up. It's not a lot, honestly. $6,000 isn't a lot. So rented a box truck and drove across the country. Took, I think, about 10 or 11 days. Just wanted to take our time. I mean, obviously we could do it in like 7 days or something or less, but took our time, kind of relaxed, and tried to like look around and sightsee and all that stuff on the way. When we did get here, which was really awesome, I do have to give a huge shout out to my cousin Bobby. He actually allowed us to literally stay at his home for about a month, actually.
Wow.
Which was really nice.
Bobby.
And also Melanie and the little kids. The little kids, and also Kai and Koa, the dogs. So it was a full house with adding 2 more people. But through that time, while I was there, I knew I couldn't be dependent on trying to live there, because that's not what I wanted. I wanted to have my own place. So we did a lot of apartment searching, and I did a lot of job seeking, like a lot. And this probably happened for a very long time. So after a month comes up, we found an apartment, moved into it. And that's when I started to get to the point where I was like, I'm starting to run low on money. I was like, I gotta get a job. So I started applying, and then I would do this almost every day, but eventually I figured out that I just need to get my foot in. I just need to do something to just make some type of income. And I just got to get in quick. And I was like, what is the quickest way to get a job? Is to find like a super entry level job. So I got a job at Chipotle.
Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Okay, can you explain? Can you explain to some of the people who doesn't know what that is?
It's like a Mexican chain restaurant. That's kind of like, if you guys ever have been to like a Subway, it's laid out sort of like a conveyor belt style, where you go to the line as a customer, get your rice, your beans, and then you would choose your meats, and then you would choose, what kind of salsa you would like and things like that, and then extra things like cheese, sour cream, lettuce, all at the end, and you pay, and then you head out. You can get chips and you can get whatever. So worked there. And level position. I did burritos and stuff like that, and did dishes, prepping vegetables. I'm really good at it because we grew up in a restaurant.
Yep.
So that was a huge
We know how to
advantage.
prep our stuff.
Yeah, we had a huge advantage. I had a huge advantage over pretty much everybody. So my knife skills are amazing, and like hand-eye coordination is amazing. So yeah, and
I'm a master chopper.
yeah, never cut my hands. Wash my hands so much that my hands were always dried. But that was that was the policy there. That's good. So that was still not enough money. So I part-time job at Target. I worked at Target in soft lines where I literally just put clothes back, fold clothes like men's, women's, athletic clothes, dress clothes, and also some of the baby items too. Put them back. And that was I would do Chipotle probably like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I would work till probably about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I would come home, shower, and then I would go to Target at like 6, 7 o'clock at night and work all the way till midnight. And I would do that for, I don't remember how many months, but I did that for quite a few months. I think like 6 months or more, probably 6 to 8 months or so. And while I was doing that, I was constantly applying to jobs. And that was, it's still obviously not enough money. You're working minimum wage, 2 jobs, still not enough. And there's no way I'm going to survive on that. So what I did was I started applying. And one of the jobs that came up was Tesla, and it just kept on. I kept on reading it, and I was like, "This is what I want to do. I love cars. I love the idea behind sustainable energy, and also the cars themselves are super cool. The technology and everything, and also the position of what you wanted to do was awesome. I wanted to educate people on cars and excite them about cars, and that's what the position was. So
I remember how much you love cars. And I remember you told me, I remember you told me when you were really little that you said you want to work in a game industry. And if you can't do games, you want to be like doing something with cars.
Did I say that? I don't remember that.
Well, this was like, no, this was when we were still in like Waterville. This is a long time ago.
Yeah, this was probably a really, really long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started applying in between the times where sometimes I have a day off where I only work one of my jobs.
Yeah.
And I would have some time during the day. I would just go out to like the lobby, or like, my apartment has like a little swimming pool with some tables. I would sit out there. I would be on the computer. Actually, I didn't have internet. That's why I was out there. Didn't have internet at home. So yeah, just applied for jobs. And that actually reminds me, I have my whole list. You probably can't see this, but I have a whole list of all the jobs I actually applied to when I was there, and I wrote everything down. You probably can see the emails that I used on here too. Yeah, I have a lot of them, and then it's a good amount. So yeah, there was a lot. But every time I applied to Tesla, I didn't hear anything. I didn't get anything back. And every time you apply, you have to have a new email. So I had a Gmail, I had a Yahoo, AOL, AIM. I don't remember what other ones too. Hotmail, obviously. I had like at least probably like 6 different applications. And I applied almost like once every month for a while. And I still didn't hear anything.
Different departments or like the same position?
Most of them, yes. Most of them the same position. I thought something was wrong, so I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna apply to be like a Tesla technician to work on the cars." I was like, like I said, I'm really handy with with my hands. I can work with tools and stuff like that. It shouldn't be hard to pick up how to work on a Tesla, as they have training programs. Yeah. So, still nothing. So eventually, I got kind of fed up, and I applied for so long that I called HR for Tesla, and I was like, why am I not hearing anything? Like, I'm not even getting a rejection letter. Like, at least that will tell me that I didn't get the job. But I was like, I didn't get anything, no correspondence, nothing. So they said, please stop into one of our Tesla stores with your resume and drop it off to one of the managers. So I actually did that. When I lived in Ohio, I actually had a Tesla jacket that I purchased from Detroit a long time ago, and I actually wore that when I came in. And it was actually one of the corporate jackets that they wear. when they actually worked there, and they actually thought I worked there when I walked in with my resume and everything. But I handed it in. My resume,
Awesome.
yeah, it was a whole folder, and I just gave them the whole folder and everything. Letter of recommendation, everything's in there. So eventually they called me back and they said, I have a phone interview. So I went through a phone interview. I had, everything all set up. Super excited.
Let me ask you a real quick question. I didn't mean to interrupt, but from the very first time you applied for, I know, see, this is what I call resilience. And there's a lot of people who could be watching in the future. If you are, whether you're watching now or in the future, there are people looking for jobs all the time. And this is what I called keep trying. Like you said, like quitting is not an option. And that's something that I admire about you very, very much, because this is something that said, you know what, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep applying. How long did it take you from like the first time you applied to the job at Tesla to getting like the first phone call? Like approximately?
Probably like 7 months. It took me a while.
Wow.
So yeah, I just kept on trying because I knew that's, and I tried real hard, and I did whatever I could to get in. At that point, at least just to get in for an interview. That's all. That was my goal. Just to get an interview, and that would be fine. And then at least I knew I would try. So
now I remember you telling me how much you did the action part, which I want you to elaborate on a little bit more later. Like you were saying, you're trying every way. But I also remember you were telling me that you actually have like a Tesla logo thing on your phone, so that you can like imagine, like you were saying that you were like really like imagining that you already worked there. Like, can you tell me like, yeah, you did that, right? And then what else did you actually do?
yeah.
The actions that you took to make this dream of yours to work at Tesla a reality?
I guess you could say like people now would probably say like, oh, I was trying to manifest it or whatnot. Yeah, this is my my screensaver in the back, just the Tesla logo, the Tesla T.
Awesome.
I've had this on here before I worked at Tesla. I had it while I was applying. I never thought that I would actually. This has been on my phone. This has been on the background of my phone. Yeah, as long as haven't had a job at Tesla and finally got in. So yeah, the resilience of just
awesome
being around that. I had the jacket and everything. I always look back, and I've been to the stores, the showrooms, and I was like, this is such a cool like company and job. I was like, I would love to like help them at their mission. It was just such a like, I don't know. It was a great feeling once I got in. After 4 rounds of interviews, I had a phone interview, and then I had a in-person interview with a manager from store in Mission Viejo, and also an interview with a manager from Fashion Island in Newport Beach. And then also I had another phone interview with someone from the design team at Tesla.
Jeez.
So I passed all 4 of those, and eventually I got in. It was probably the happiest moment of my life, and all this persistence, all this hard work is going to pay off. And that is probably why today I feel so proud to be with Tesla and to work for Tesla. And every day I'm just so thankful that I worked there, because I tried so hard and I worked so hard and I got there. So I have a lot more appreciation as, I guess, like an employee of the company. So
it sounds like, I can hear your passion, and it sounds like you're doing a commercial for Tesla right now. Like you should totally like send this video to your manager or something, because this is not the intention. The intention is not for me to ask Jurgen to promote Tesla in any way. The intention is for me to ask Jurgen to share with the audience his journey with his moving from Ohio to California. But, every time I talk to Jurgen and I tell him, I ask him like, how are you doing? He just like, life is great. Like he's just such a, well, he's my brother. So like to me, he's like the most awesome, coolest, funniest person ever. And he is really, really funny. Okay. Like I want to learn to be funny like you, because I'm like super serious, like mom. Well, okay, not that serious, but
you can't learn it. It's natural.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. See, like I just want to be like you. But he would always say like, yeah, like life is good and I love my work. And, I'm just so happy for you. Like, as your sister, whatever makes you happy is happy for me. I mean, you don't need to have a certain status for me to be happy for you, because I'm not superficial like that, like as long as you're happy. And because I love you so much, like mom and dad also are so happy for you. So tell us, what are you doing just a little bit what are you doing at Tesla right now? And how long have you been working there?
I've worked there over 4 years now. I've actually been in about, I think, 5 different positions throughout my whole time at Tesla.
Wow.
Yeah, so currently right now I'm actually working from home. So this is the first time I actually get to work from home, to be able to literally wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, and then have some cereal, and then and then like hop right on to work on my computer. So it's kind of nice. Yeah, I mainly essentially answer questions for people, and I help problem solve anything along the lines from the process of when they order a Tesla to the point where they are ready to pick up their car. And I have to solve all those issues or problems if they have, or if they run into during that time. So
that sounds awesome. Now, I see this is how it goes. Yeah, I'm not even asking you the questions that I have written for you, because yeah, new questions come up, and I like to go with the flow of the guests. How is the economy now in the US? Because Tesla is obviously considered a high-end car. So people who have money, like, what is the cheapest Tesla? Can you tell me? Like
it's probably going to be like somewhere around like 45,000, just a baseline. So 45,000 with like taxes and everything. So
yeah,
around there roughly. It depends on how you configure it, but that's just kind of how it starts. So
right, because back then, let me just to the Thai audience, 45,000 for a car in the US is like quite expensive, because you can buy like for example, like a used higher end car for less than that, right?
Can you translate that? Yeah, can you translate that into baht? Maybe just for example. Ask Siri.
Well, yeah, because cars here in Thailand, they're always imported, so they're actually more expensive compared to the US.
Yes.
Like, for example, a Honda Civic in the US would cost, like, back then, okay, I'm thinking 15 years ago, I'm sorry. I'm thinking 15 years ago when I was in the US, a Honda Civic would be like, what, 20 some thousand?
20, 30, yeah, around there, yeah.
Yeah, but here in Thailand, it would be the equivalent of like 30 some thousand, and the higher models would be 40 some thousand and up. So it's like, it's expensive to have a car in Thailand. Of course, you cannot compare this to Hong Kong or Singapore. I think it's still cheaper than in Hong Kong, but Tesla, okay, 45,000. And what was I going to ask you next? What is the economy like now? I know US is huge. There are many states, but you're in California. Yeah. What is it like there? I mean, recession is technically all over the world.
It's waking up now. A lot of people are out back on the roads and everything like that. There's actually traffic now. Not as much traffic as there was before COVID.
Yeah.
But everyone's kind of out doing their thing. Everyone's being safe. Everyone's got their masks and stuff like that. So not surprised if you go to an event or a restaurant or something like that, you just gotta have a mask on. Everything's been good. I believe it's just like some of the things like with the national shortage, things like that have caused a lot of slowdown in production for a lot of different companies. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, for example, you can't even buy a PS4, a PlayStation. Real hard. They don't have them stocked on any of the shelves. I was just looking. I'm not actually going to purchase, but I have not found one. But yeah, same thing with our cars. It's kind of like it's coming, but there are a little bit of bottlenecks, but it's getting a lot better. So, and as for other obviously tech companies too, it's the same thing. So it's not just PlayStation or Sony and Tesla is having this issue. So that's kind of what it is. But economy's been probably pretty decent, pretty good. So,
okay, that's good, because I'm like I said, I'm very I would just say ignorant about what it's like in the US now. I feel like I'm totally integrated back into like an Asian society, an Asian culture. So I am not aware of what, American economy is like. I don't really watch any news and things like that. So, I mean, it's good to hear that, because I only know that in Thailand, in Phuket, from my friends, my contacts who are mainly in the events industry or other, there are business owners, they are saying that, yes, there are people coming back. There are more clients compared to obviously, a year ago because of COVID, and things are kind of moving back up. So it's really hopeful atmosphere in Phuket. And I really hope that that is the case for California as well, or, other parts in the US, just like you mentioned. Now, what I wanted to come back to, and I can't believe it's already 12:25. We already went through this in 25 minutes. It's just like went by so fast. Yeah. I think the main thing is that I wanted the audience to learn from you, because I do actually coach a lot of students, high school students and university students, and they are also in the process of looking for work. What is your advice for people of any culture, whether they're in the US or in Asia or in Europe? Like, what is your advice for them on how to get a job, or like keep trying, because your journey of getting your dream job, like this is your dream job at Tesla. It's not just any job for you. What is your advice, your technique or story, whatever it is that you want to share related to giving advice to even older people? Because there's a lot of people who lost jobs. What is your advice for them?
Definitely have to say, you're gonna try your best to see if you can find something that you like or you love. It's not easy. Some of us don't even know what we like or what we really love to do. This was kind of something that was along the alley of what I really loved. I mean, honestly, what I would really love is just to drive sports cars around every day and get paid for it.
And you're driving a sports car right now. Do you want to tell the audience what car you're driving? You're making me jealous.
Oh, yeah. It's the hybrid. I drive a hybrid.
A hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, it's gas and electric.
He's got the sports car that goes up like that. So if you want to find out what he drives, you need to go to his Instagram account. What is the name? I'm not going to tell you what he drives, but go to his Instagram account. What's your account name?
It's Jurgen_kit.
Okay, but the other one. The other one.
It's I, and then 8, the number, and then _kit.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to know what he drives, then you can go to his account, go follow him. But I'll keep it mysterious a little bit. But I'm sorry. Please continue on what your advice.
No. Yeah. I mean, like I said, just find something that's very similar to what you love or what you like, just to get your feet wet, to get into it. And again, there isn't any type of quitting going on when you do this. You keep on trying, you keep on going forward. If you really want something and you really know that that's where your place is at, that's where you're gonna grind real hard to get there. When you do start getting the interviews or things like that, you try very hard to learn about the company. You prepare yourself. I lock myself in a bedroom. I make sure everything is out of here. I set up as nice of a background or something I can for the interview, and I try my best so hard to be myself and answer the questions as best as I can. The main thing is you just got to keep on trying. I had so many poor interviews that I didn't get jobs for, like Uber. That was a really big position too that I probably wouldn't mind getting into. But now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, maybe I was destined to actually be in Tesla, because I actually love Tesla. Uber, on the other hand, I don't know. We'll see. But it was for a corporate job at Uber. I did obviously not get the interview. I didn't even get a second interview for that one. I did so bad. I think it was partially I was really nervous, and I didn't really click with the interviewer also. But tons of jobs. I think I applied at least like I think 30 to 50 jobs. So just keep on going, be persistent. You cannot quit. You just have to keep on going. So
wow. I did not know this. I honestly, I'm just so busy and so involved with my own life, trying to raise my kids, that I never even know any of these details with your life. And I feel a little bit sad that I was never kind of there for you for any of this. And I'm just glad that I'm like understanding this now, because we're like reconnecting more again on video. And yeah, I just had no idea that you actually did that many. I mean, you apply for that many job interviews. Like, I don't even think that I would probably like quit after like maybe like 25, but I didn't know how you were. Like, I didn't know the situation that you were in California. I think I just had my own struggles, and I was just so absorbed in like raising my, little boys. That's like, I never even asked you, how was your life in California? I mean, I think I did, but it wasn't like I was going to help you in any way. But I really admire that about you, even though I'm saying this in the past and I cannot go back to the past. I mean, in the future, and I'm not going, I cannot go back to the past, but yeah, I actually feel a little bit sad that I wasn't like there to kind of support you in any way. But yeah, I'm just so proud of you for what you are doing now, because you did all of this by yourself. Of course, people open doors for you, or they close the door on you because it was not what you're meant to be. But every time I speak to you, you're always like super positive, and you give me advice when I am stuck in my negative mindsets. And yeah, I mean, you are somebody that I admire. Even though you are my brother, like, I admire many things that you can do, that and it's your journey that sometimes I feel like I may not even be able to do. So like, I just wanted to praise you, for all of that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm crying. I'm sorry. And if I may add this, and this is a little bit about what I do, and I did not mean to be doing this, but I need to share that I actually am coaching people on how to have interviews, because for me, I also have to interview a lot to get jobs as a presenter. And almost every single job, before I get a job, I get interviewed. And it's not like the same interview as like maybe what Jurgen gets, because people who are ready to contact me, they already have researched me and know what I have done. So I get the easier way of interview, but I also train people on how to present themselves better for job interviews or for university interviews. And I have done quite a few interviews myself as the interviewee. So what I would be doing for, you is I would help you to prepare your mindset, your dressing, your looks, on how you can be your best self so that you can get that job. I mean, you can have a higher chance of getting that job that you want, because I know how difficult it is now, especially during the recession. But if you have a mindset like Jurgen, which is quitting is not an option, which is obviously the title of what he wanted to share today, then you're going to get it anyways, no matter how many times you tried. So like, if you have any questions, and if you don't mind, Jurgen, if you have any questions, like any of the audience have questions in the future, I would recommend them to like come and chat with you and ask like, yeah, how did you go through it? Like when you get no's, how do you deal with that, for example? Sorry,
Sounds good.
a little bit crying.
No, you're fine.
Like, I'm so like sensitive, like, me, right? Like, I just get like, I just get emotional sometimes. But okay. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience before I stop the live on Facebook?
I guess the last thing is be very thankful for what you have and where you're at. That's how I keep myself positive. I'm very happy to be able to have food in my fridge and a roof over my head. I don't exactly need the biggest, best house in the world or things like that, but just to be thankful for even something literally so small as to being able to have running water out of your faucet. That is an amazing thing if you think about it. It's so simplistic, but to be able to turn a faucet, you can change the temperature to cold to hot, things like that. Just being thankful for small things is just gonna help impact your life and be more positive. A lot of things, bad things happen for sure.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But you have to look at the bright side. Like, yeah, go ahead and do that. And then you need to bounce right back. So that's the last thing.
Yeah. This is not fairy tale thinking, because what you would always notice is that our words is like water in the ocean. It's like waves. When you are grateful for what you have and when you say good things, people will actually treat you back with like kindness and the happiness. But if you start like rolling like crap out of your mouth, if you do not filter what you say, if you do not think before you speak, which is like mindsets and communications, you're going to get what you give out back. And to be grateful for what you have is, I know it's not easy to stay positive all the time. I actually think it's not possible to be positive all the time. But as long as we try, just like what Jurgen said, to be grateful and to, people say count your blessings, it will help me. It helped me, and that also helps Jurgen to get yourself on track again, to be on that positive path of like what I want, not saying and complaining about things that you cannot control, because complaining and saying about something that you have no control or blaming does not bring you what you want. It just tells the universe that you want more of that. Like you want more of the negativity or more of the blaming and more of the crap that you created yourself. So be responsible with what you choose to think and what you choose to say so that you can create your life and be the creator that you are meant to be. So thank you so much. I want to give you a big kiss, Jurgen. Mwah!
Big hug. Big hug.
Big hug and big kiss to my younger brother. And anybody who has any questions while you're watching this video, on my Facebook page, MC Able, or later it's going to be on my YouTube channel, which is Wanamakok, my last name. Please write your comments down, and I will make sure that Jurgen sees your comments so that he can answer your questions. If you have any questions about his life in California, working for Tesla, or going through the interview and not quitting mentality. So thank you, Jurgen.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Thank you.